let's go over this YELP trade yesterday. I actually got an email intraday from a trader who we're going to be onboarding next week, and she was asking about this trade. Specifically, should she get long when it got above that 59.35-ish, 59.50-ish area, which was VWAP. So one of our favorite trades is a stock spends a lot of time below VWAP on the open, crosses over VWAP, we consider getting long. And I said, I'm not going to make that trade because there's not enough reward in it from that 59.35-ish, 59.50-ish area for me to play it, because why? 60 was resistance, right? With that opening drive, it really had a hard down move from that 60 area. So if I was going to buy 59.50-ish, I was going to have to deal with resistance and 50 cents. It wasn't worth it for me. And then we also said during our midday meeting what? We said this is a good setup for us, okay? Particularly if it spends multiple hours, remember? Particularly if it spends multiple hours consolidating a little bit above VWAP, a little bit below VWAP, gives you that nice consolidation area, and then into the close starts to roll over below VWAP, and then the real signal is below 59. And that's a trade to hold. We want to see if that will go to the low. It had terrible intraday fundamentals, right? So Nick, give us a recap of the terrible intraday fundamentals for that YELP were what?
So the main issues where YELP was, first, they beat for the quarter. However, their four-year guidance was looking bad. They were projected to miss for the quarter, and they got a bunch of downgrades.
Okay.
And they were overall looking.
So full-year guidance bad.
Yeah.
We love to pounce on that, right? When we see full-year guidance raised, I want to know everything I can about that stock. Goes right to the top of the list as to whether or not I'm going to trade it. Miss on full-year guidance, right to the top of the list. I'm thinking about trading that. Right, Mustafa?
It's a terrible fundamental.
Not good. Intraday fundamentals bad. Leaning short when we see the weakness. And so the conversation, and this is an experienced trader. She's an experienced trader. She's a very profitable trader. We're going to try and help her to get better. And there's two ways we're going to try and help her to get better. And I see this with a lot of profitable, experienced traders, which is they're really good at picking direction, but they're lacking two other things, which is time, or a catalyst, okay, and risk reward. So an experienced trader might just sit there, read that report, Nick, and say, YELP's going down. It's going down. And when it's getting above that 59.35-ish area, lots of experienced traders sit there and they say, it's going down. I'm going to ignore this price action. I know it's going to trade lower. And I would say to those traders that now you're in a position of weakness. Now you're not a scalable trader. Now you're putting yourself in a position where your risk reward is not very good. And your results, if you're going to do that, are going to be up and down. Okay? And so, you're trading against the momentum, right, Raj? Look, the momentum at that point when it crosses over VWAP is up. And so why don't we take our news edge, which is we've seen lots of reports. When we see a report like this and it's a growth stock, it's usually going to find a way to trade lower in the afternoon. Okay? That's great knowledge. Now why don't we take that and combine it, arm that trader with the ability to control their risk better and the ability to understand when the trade is going to start working again for them. So for us, in this YELP, it was now it starts to cross below VWAP again, a little bit above that 59-ish area. And Shark actually started a short there. And then there's confirmation with that. And we said this in the midday meeting yesterday, right? Set your alerts for below 59. Let's not miss this trade. It could really go down. gets below 59, you've got good confirmation to add to your position and get pretty aggressive. And there wasn't anything to do, right? Because of the intraday fundamentals, it was a trade to hold. You needed a reason to cover. You want to see where the stock would go. Great setup. Okay, I was short. I think, Raj, you were short, right?
Yeah, I got short.
I'm sure you would have liked to have been bigger, though, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. But really good example, great learning lesson of, in our job, we've got to pick the direction, and we have to understand the catalyst, the timing of the trade, and thirdly, we have to control our risk reward. Okay? I'll just jump forward quickly to a part 2 for this trade, which is, what level did that fail from? That 59, 35-ish, 59-ish area, right? What happened today? Went right up to that level, and what happened? It failed. All right, I got pretty short up there. It wasn't fun. While it was going up, it didn't look like it was going to start to go down, but I used that level that we learned into the close from yesterday again today, and put a short position on and made a nice trade out of it. We'll sort of see where it closes, but already a really good trade. Okay, on that note, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you guys soon.